Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Fight the spread and take a stand against coronavirus. Wear a mask in public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdheck.gov/COVID-19.
Happy Thursday to you. You are watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. I'm Tre Tailor, and it's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities. Also, Agape Counseling and Training Center. Listen, if you're having some challenges coping with COVID, please contact the folks at Agape Counseling and Training Center. Coping with COVID is also brought to you by Palmetto Media Connections. Well, the Richland County Recreation Commission shares some information on restarting programs, sports, and how they're helping parents and students with virtual learning. We'll talk to Jaimie Russell and Felicia Venable. They join us there. Thank you, ladies. They're already masked up over there with each other. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah. Good to see you. And then author and motivational speaker Kobi Wilkerson tells us how learning happens through conversation. It's his new book, and we're going to talk to Kobi about it next on Coping with COVID. Thank you, Kobi.
Happy to be here.
Thank you all. All right. They are next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. Well, Richland School District 1 has released their plan to return students to in-person learning as soon as next week. Beginning October 12th, students with disabilities will be back in class. Starting October 19th, K through second graders will begin in-person instruction 1 day per week. Then during the final week in October, all students will attend school twice per week. The district says parents will be sent more information and can always visit the website, richland1.org, for more information. The South Carolina Department of Corrections is investing $1 million to install air ionizers in its facilities. They say it will help stall the spread of COVID. Now, the device uses hydrogen peroxide to kill 99% of the virus, and will also help inmates with breathing problems like asthma and COPD. South Carolina is the first prison system to use the technology. And congratulations to Columbia, South Carolina native Howard Hughes. He was awarded $100,000 to launch his new business from Google. Now, it's based in Greenville and called Bandwagon. It's a tech company that stores and manages customer information for live events. Google named 76 African Americans in conjunction with its startup Black Foundation Fund, where they committed $5 million to help minority entrepreneurs. scdheck.gov has the most up-to-date lists of times, dates, and location for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Check the bottom of the screen throughout the show for more information on COVID testing in Winsboro, Camden, Newberry, Augusta, Aiken, Columbia, and also Sumter, Orangeburg, and Florence. There's also information at the bottom of the screen about the DHEC care line. Now, you can call that number for more information about COVID, to get transportation for a test. And also, if you want to host a COVID test in your neighborhood or in your community, there's a number to call at the bottom of the screen. Now, if you live in Richland or Clarendon County and are not able to get to a COVID test and think you need one, Richland and Clarendon County paramedics are actually starting to do in-home COVID testing. Contact 911 Monday through Friday from 9 until 5 o'clock. You can win some cool prizes from the City of Columbia for wearing your mask. All you have to do is post a picture of your favorite mask, you in your favorite mask, at maskupcolumbiasc.com. Get your family and friends to like it, and you could be a winner. It's maskupcolumbiasc.com. Now, if you're having some challenges paying your rent or mortgage, the South Carolina Bar Association and SC Legal have collaborated for a toll-free number and website where you can get information, resources, and help. Also, the City of Columbia is helping folks out that are having some challenges paying their water bill. Anyone who has a past due balance will get 6 months to pay it from the City of Columbia Water Department. They also have payment assistance where you can get your water bill paid up to 75%. Please contact the information at the bottom of the screen for more information. And SC-DO, the Department of Employment and Workforce, is offering several free certifications and trainings, but you've got until October 31st to register. Now, the courses are offered in both English and Spanish, and you can choose from business, technology, data science, health, arts, and humanities. You want a little part-time job? Well, the Richland County Democratic Party is hiring canvassers to go door to door and leave information at voters' doors. The pay is $15 an hour, which includes training, but you must be at least 18 years old. You must be computer literate and own a smartphone. You can see the graphic on the screen for more information about job requirements, but you can email your resume to executive director at richlandscdems.com. Now, if you need some help with virtual learning, we talked to Rashonda Pratt about that last week. Well, she's set up a YouTube channel to help parents navigate through online learning. You can see the graphic, and you can join Rashonda on her YouTube page for more information, tips, and information. And there's a food giveaway that's going to start next Thursday and run through mid-November. Brooklyn Baptist Church West and their Northeast locations, the Brooklyn Empowerment Center in West Columbia, and also Rehoboth Church in Northeast Columbia are giving out food boxes. Again, that starts next Thursday and Friday and runs through November. The boxes will not only have fresh fruit and vegetables, they'll have dairy, protein, and a gallon of milk. That's going to start next week. Now, today, this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you or someone you know needs some help with domestic violence, we have some information on the screen. Please call those folks and please share that information for anyone that you may know that needs the help. Coping with COVID is airing live on the Tailor Made Productions Facebook page. Would you go over there and like and follow? That way you can find out about Coping with COVID. You can watch it Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m. and you can get all of your COVID-related updates. Coping with COVID is also streaming live on YouTube. Go over there to the YouTube and hit the subscribe button, and we would love to see you. I'm Tre Tailor, and like everything, the Richland County Recreation Department shut down during the beginning of COVID, ending all activities that we love and our kids love too. Well, they're back open and providing a great opportunity for virtual learning and more. Jaimie Russell, Public Information Officer, and Felicia Venable, with Community Relations Manager with Richland County Recreation Department, join us. Ladies, unmute your mic. And thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me first about your virtual learning program, because I thought that was such a great idea and opportunity, because one, a lot of parents still have to go to work, even though kids are home. And two, a lot of kids are having some challenges with the virtual learning. So I thought it was ingenious for the Richland County Recreation Commission to offer it. Tell us about that.
Yes, you are correct. We did close down, but during that time we were closed, we were working on a phased reopening plan, taking a look at some of the activities that we could open and and apply the social distancing guidelines, as well as making sure we would do it in the safest way possible. So
Yeah.
what we've done is opened up our gyms and reduced the capacity to even less than 50%. So
Okay.
we're able to have only about 20 children at each site, and we still have spaces available. And then we're also able to offer them supervision while they are working on their different assignments.
So it's 20 kids per site. How many sites are offering the virtual learning opportunities?
Well, we have sites throughout Richland County. We have Blythewood Park, Kaufman Road Park, Eastover Park, and at Friars Gate, Hopkins, Meadow Lake Park, North Springs Park, Polo Road Park, St. Andrews, and Trenton Park.
Oh, that's good. So you've got several locations all around the county that
Yeah.
would make it convenient for people. Now, so you said there are 20 students for each site. Now, what's that day look like for the
Well,
students?
when the children first come to the site, we make sure that they have a temperature check. And we also log that information. We try to receive the children from their parents prior to the parents coming into the building so that we can lower the risk of as many people in the building as possible. So once they come in, they check in, then they start their particular day. And the virtual care program runs from 7 a.m. to 2:30.
Okay.
And then we give the parents a 30-minute grace to get there. And then we have what's called our after school that starts at 3 o'clock and that runs until 6:30.
Okay. So when kids are there from 7 until 2, they've got their computer and they're doing their virtual learning. Is that what's going on?
Yes, that is correct. And we also have them to bring their own food in.
Okay.
Because according to with our risk management right now, it is just best that they bring that in instead of us serving it at this time.
Okay.
And so they are supervised while they are there doing their work, but they also have some opportunities to have some recreation as well.
That's good. Yeah, I was going to ask about the supervision now. Is there anyone there that can help them if they have a problem or a question?
Yes, they can help them if they do have a question, but they are not tutors per se because
Okay.
it is our staff.
Right.
It is. But we do offer some online help as well, as we have contacted Richland County Library. We're working with them as well.
Oh, that's good.
And they're even bringing in some new book carts with some new reading materials for the children. And then they have a lot of online assistance as well, too, that is free.
Okay.
So even if our staff is a little stumped on something, there is some free resources that we're able to give to them while they're at our site.
Now, what age students are you accepting at the virtual learning centers?
We cater to kindergarten through 8th graders.
Oh, okay. Kindergarten through 8th grade. So you've got the babies over there too. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, did you choose that, ladies, because you figured anyone over 8th grade maybe could fend for themselves?
Well, we actually have our technology centers. They are open as well, too. So we're looking at that upper age for the middle and high school to actually go to our technology centers, which we
Okay.
have 2 of those located in the county. One is James Claiborne Technology Center and the Garners Ferry Technology Center. So those are for those older children. We have not gotten as great a response, so there's still spaces open for there. And if
Okay.
you do get to that site and someone's not there, and let's say an adult needs to use the center, they're able to do it at that time as well.
Okay, so you've got a couple of things going on. So let's get it straight. From K through 8th graders, you've got the virtual learning at several of the centers that you mentioned, Felicia. And then at the technology center, the 2 technology centers, 8th through 12th graders could actually go there and do their virtual learning.
That's correct.
Okay, that's great. So is it a cost?
There is a fee associated with the virtual learning. We wanted to make it affordable. There's a $10 registration fee. For the week of virtual learning, it's $50 for the week. And for the after school, it's $45. But if you attend both, it'll just be $80 for the week. So you could potentially be in the program from 7 a.m. until 6:30 for $80 a week. We wanted it to be affordable for the parents.
Yeah, that's great. That is really good. And you're right. That's very affordable. I mean, because when you're looking at daycare, I mean, that's almost $150, $200 a week. I know I got 2 in daycare. So that's a house payment, I tell you. Three house payments. Good grief. Yeah, that's good. So now how long is this going to last? Because I don't know if the first story I did today was about Richland 1 opening up some of, schools. Kids are going to go to school 1 day a week, 2 days a week. Now, how long will your virtual program last?
I think the virtual program will be in place as long as is needed. Even with the schools being back in session, the students are on A days and B days.
Right.
So there's a need for the program to be there. So we generally run our programs in conjunction with the school year. So I can't foresee it ending anytime soon. I don't think that will. And then, of course, that's dependent upon COVID.
Right.
The way that things are operating right now is so many uncertainties.
Right.
So we want to, be a convenience and be an option for the parents.
Yeah.
So as long as there's a need, we'll be available.
Awesome. Candace Belton says that's awesome. She says she has 2 of her kids. She's sending them y'all way.
Absolutely.
Good.
She can log on right now to register at richlandrec.com.
All right. Richlandrec.com, Candace. Candace, what side of town do you live on? Because Felicia can tell you again the names of those recreation centers. We are talking to Jaimie Russell and Felicia Venable. They're with the Richland County Recreation Commission, and they've been talking about their virtual learning centers that they've set up for students in K through 8th grade for young people, for students who need that help. Like I said, parents have to go back to work, and some parents don't have to go back to work. They just want the kids out of the house. And that's okay too. We got to get something done,
That's right.
That's right.
And some parents are working from home too. That there's so many different scenarios. So I think that's great. Candace said she actually looked into it this morning. She lives near Benedict. So what would be the closest one for her near Benedict? Would Park?
That would be St. Andrews Road Park or Trenum Park.
Okay, Trenum Park. Yeah, I think Trenum would be closest to Benedict. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So are there any openings, do you know, at Trenum?
Yes. We currently have openings at Trenum.
All right, great. I love too that you're only taking 20 per gymnasium, because again, that way they can truly social distance and have some privacy while they're participating in school too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen that firsthand. My grandson is attending the Polo Road location, and being in the gym as opposed to a classroom, they actually have their privacy and they're able to have their e-learning in a private manner. So, and at those technology centers is actually free of charge. There's no charge for those middle schoolers or high schoolers. So I definitely wanted to make sure that when we put that out there, that anyone can come.
Right. So, and that's the other thing I was going to say. And then from 9th through 12th graders, the technology centers are open. And there are 2. You said there's the James Clyburn Technology Center, and then there's one on Garners Ferry Road.
Yes.
Yeah. And those are no cost to 9th through 12th graders. Now, are those the same hours of operation, ladies?
Yes. They actually run until 4:00. That center opens a little bit later. I apologize.
Okay.
It opens up a little bit later. So they run from 9 till 4:00. And then that way we still have 2 hours for the public. If they need to come in and print out a resume or do something online, they can do that then.
Okay. Candace wants to know, what about Hopkins? Are there any locations in Hopkins, Felicia?
We do have a location in Hopkins.
Okay. Can you tell us what that location is?
Yes, it's Hopkins Park.
Oh, Hopkins Park. Are there openings at Hopkins Park?
Yes.
Yes.
Hopkins
All right.
is available as well.
Hopkins Park. Locates kids, they're available for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Want to thank you so much for joining us on Coping with COVID. Please continue to post and share this information out so we can get the message to the masses, because we know that there are several children that really need some help, need more of a structured environment. They need to get out of the house. Parents have to work. There's so many different scenarios, and here the Richland County Recreation Commission has offered some great resources. Now, let me ask you this, ladies: are there any scholarships available? What if there is a someone that's has a financial strain? Are there any concessions made for those students who may need to come?
We do have a second and third child discount. So there's a discount for the second and the third child, and then any children over the third child remains at that same price. However, we've had some impact as well as an agency. COVID. And normally we do have a program, but we aren't able to offer that at this time. But of course, we always receive sponsors.
Yeah.
If someone else wants to make a donation that we can help send those children, we have our foundation as well. And so if those opportunities avail themselves, of course, we will return that right over to those students.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So again, people can contact the information, richlandcountyrecreation.com, for more information on the virtual learning. Again, that's for K through 8th graders. And that's a full day, 7 till 2. And then from 3 to 6 is a 6:30, right, is the after school. Now, if parents just want to send them to after school, can they just do the after school?
They can.
Okay. So they could do any combination. They can do the whole day. They can do the first part of the day or the second part of the day.
Absolutely. We like when the parents have options. You know?
Absolutely.
One size doesn't fit all. So whatever the needs are.
Now let's talk about what other activities, because Candace wants to know how to sign kids up for sports. What other activities have started back up at the Richland County Recreation Commission? Because that was I was really looking forward to sending mine to learn how to swim, and then I couldn't. So
So we just finished registration. The first games last night was for our shin kickers, which were for our little soccer players. But of course, our playgrounds are back open. So we're excited that we've taken that yellow tape off, and you can come back and get onto the playground. Of course, our walking trails have been open, as well as our open green space as well. And not just for the children, but even our adults, we are having our arthritis exercise, and our staff is doing a phenomenal job at being creative. They're actually using the tennis court to socially distance.
Oh, that's good.
And have that smooth surface for our active older adults to be able to exercise. So we're real excited about that. And then we have the senior games, it's the Midland Senior Games, which normally comes around. We normally have around 100 plus participants, but this year we've reduced the number of participants and made the activities outside.
Oh, wow.
So that we can do the social distancing, because also our seniors are struggling with depression and not being able to go out. And so we thought about canceling it, but then the team came together and came up with this revision of what our senior games is going to look like this year.
That is so great. So if a senior wants to participate, how can they do that?
Well, the senior games, and this is our 33rd annual senior games, men and women 50 years or older, they have to be 50 before September the 1st. And like Jaimie said, we're modifying it this year. We generally have a week of activities, but this year, because of COVID, we're starting on Monday, October the 19th, and we're going to have car bingo. So they can stay in their cars. We're going to have an FM transmitter, and seniors love bingo. So we're going to start there with some arthritis exercise, and then we go into bingo. And because Landrick is a wonderful facility, that Wednesday, October the 21st, we're going to have golf. And because some of the meter runs we can do on the outside, we're also going to have that on Wednesday at Meadow Lake Park at the track there. And then on Friday, we're going to have the closing ceremony. We generally have a big fancy lunch, but we're going to have box lunches and have the award ceremony at St. Andrews Park. But they can register. Registration is open now. We are limited to the first 50, and registration ends on October the 12th. So we're probably already at about 25, so we have about 25 more spaces available.
Okay, great. And they can go to that richlandcountyrecreation.com website for that also?
Absolutely, but most of our seniors, they prefer to come to 74 or 73 Park Lane Road.
Okay.
So we mail out the registration forms.
Okay.
So if they want to stop by to see me, by all means, they can stop by 74, 73 Park Lane Road and just ask for Felicia.
All right. All right. So what about some other sports? Someone just asked about soccer. What else is getting ready to start registering? Or is there any more room for soccer?
No, I think soccer's already ended. They've already ordered their jerseys and they just started up their first game. But we are working on winter basketball. But before I get to that, we do have something that's great because during the summer, we were looking at some reservation options. So we're opening up our gyms on Saturday and Sunday for families to reserve the gym for some open free play.
Oh,
Now,
that's good.
we can't just allow everyone to come in and do our normal free play because we do not want to spread COVID, but we are asking families to come in, and I do believe it's 4 families in the gym at one time.
Okay.
And so they'll do the temperature check when you come into the building. And one of our main processes is that we have a membership card that we ask everyone to make sure that they get when they come into the facility, because that's also going to help us with contact tracing if that were to happen.
Right.
So we want all of our patrons to come in, make sure they get their card and update their information. And so you'll be able to reserve the gym for an hour and 15 minutes, an hour of free play, 15 minutes used to
clean.
Sanitize. Yes, clean. And so that will run on Saturdays from 9 to 4.
Okay.
And then on Sundays, it'll be from 1 to 5. And so, again, it'll be at least 4 families at one time, but we've sectioned off the gym so that it'll be socially distanced, and again, minimizing the capacity of people that will be in that gym.
Okay, great. So the gym is open for free play. Families can reserve that on Saturday and Sunday. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about sports. You said you are now registering for winter sports. Other than basketball, what else are you registering for?
Well, there is softball and baseball that's been run by our community leagues. So you can ride by our facilities and you'll see that they're out there practicing now as well. But most of those are by our community leagues and not necessarily by the agency. So normally if we would have everybody kind of playing at one time, it would be different. But amid COVID, we're unable to do that. So with our phased reopening plan, there were just limited activities that we were able to do. And we were also just trying to test out the waters to see how the public would respond to the activities. So of course, our team is daily working on trying to find more activities that we can open up where people feel safe to be able to bring their children out.
Right. All right. And if people, again, want information about that, they can go to the website, correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, I know you guys are doing a couple of other things. You're doing free COVID testing, and your recreation locations are satellite voting spaces.
Yes, we're excited about that. There's free COVID testing at Bluff Road Park, and that is running from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And in those pictures that you see too as well, this summer, we were able to do some Rec to Go events where we were able to provide recreation equipment to the children, because since they couldn't come to the park, we let the park come to them.
Oh, that's cool.
We had recreation bags, and then we also had a vendor that provided a USDA meal for all of the children that participated there. And then we also did some school supplies. But our free COVID testing is 11 to 7 p.m. at Bluff Road Park, and that's at 148 Carsville Drive and Carwell Drive. I apologize. Felicia and I have driven out there, and we got our COVID test as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, just to test out that process. And so that will be running throughout the entire month.
Oh, good.
Out in that location. And then we have 4 locations that are Richland County satellite locations for voting. The Park Lane Adult Activity Center, the Garner's Ferry Adult Activity Center, the Ballantyne Community Center, and the North Springs Park Community Center. And let me tell you, there has been an overwhelming response, and we are so excited to see it.
Yeah, I am too, Jaimie. So excited to see that people are really taking advantage of this early/absentee voting. I live in the downtown 5 Points area, 2020 Hampton Street. The line has been wrapped around that every day since Monday. And then over here at the Masonic Temple, which is a satellite location. So I'm excited about it too. So it's great to know, as you said, that there are several locations throughout our city, our state, our county, and want to remind people, you can vote at any satellite location. It doesn't matter where you live. You don't have to vote in the location in your district. If you live downtown or you work out in Northeast, you can vote at any of those satellite locations. Any registered voter can vote at any satellite location. So
Yes, and so our staff is there to assist. Of course, we're not a part of the election poll, but they're out there trying to make sure traffic is routed, making sure people are as comfortable as they possibly can be, and everyone has been it's just been a good atmosphere.
That's great.
People have been patiently waiting to get into the building and doing their social distance, and so it has been very well attended, and the participation has been great. And our team has been doing a phenomenal job.
Incredible. RichlandCountyRecreation.com is the email you need to, or the website you need to jump on for more information, not only about their virtual learning stuff, but if you want to find out about sports, about the free play for families on Saturday and Sunday, please head to their website and get the information you need. Jaimie, Russell, Felicia, Venable, thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to hear that you guys are moving forward with such great activities and are doing it safely. So
yes. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. Once again, for more information, go to their website, Richland County Recreation Commission.com. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up, Learning Through Conversations, the new book by Kobi Wilkerson. That's next on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Wow. I'm Tre Tailor. You're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. Among other things, this time has taught us the importance of effective communication. Folks are on edge. People are dealing with all types of stress. So this is a great time to have a conversation and another book about effective communication. Learning happens through conversations, 5 leadership lessons for masterful living. It's from Kobi Wilkerson, and he joins us today. Kobi is an international and award-winning author, inspirational speaker, and expert on leadership and culture. He works with organizations and individuals to turn resistance into meaningful change. He's living his life's passion and purpose to help people be the best versions of themselves. Kobi, thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Before we get into the book, I want to ask you about turning resistance into meaningful change. What is that? exactly?
So the work that I do with leadership around leadership is often with organizations and schools. And so, change is not an easy thing.
Right.
And, most people resist change. They say the only people who like change are babies. That's it. But change is necessary. And so we have to work with people to turn that resistance, right, into something meaningful. And so what I do in the work is about showing people how change is a benefit for them, right? So there's something in it for you. And that's the reason often people don't want to change, because they don't see a reason to change.
Right,
so
right.
What we do is show them how in changing that becomes a benefit for you and for those who you work with and also those you serve, but mostly.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. And I guess this really has a lot to do with this book, because sometimes we have to change the way we communicate. Effective communication is so key in our personal and professional lives. So I love that the title of this book is Learning Happens Through Conversations. And here's the thing, you didn't name the book this, but we've got to listen and be open in order to learn. So I want to talk about the 5 leadership lessons for Masterful Living. But first, why did you decide to write this book? Because you primarily do children's books.
Well, you're right. So training, so we have, information in us for adults and teenagers and kids, but I have just normally written children's books. So this book that was written really wasn't my choice. Honestly, it was a command. And so if you actually grab the book, you'll see that I actually wrote this book in 7 days.
Wow.
So I wrote this book in 7 days. It was actually published, put out, all of that in less than 30 days. And so it was more of a command. It happened the 22nd of August. I was woken up and, got the look, hey, get up.
Yes. You were, and it wasn't Ashley tapping.
Oh, no, it was not. He was still asleep. Yeah, he was steady sleep during all of this. And so I got a tap, and then he gave me the chapters and told me it had to be done by Friday. He said, you got 7 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
So why do you think the creator told you to write this book at this point?
Well, I think because this book is really about, if I had to sum it up with 2 words, I would just say belief and mindset. Right. It really is about belief and mindset. And that is what we really need right now. We really need to be conscious and aware of our belief and to be mindful of the things that we're thinking. One of the wizisms that I have in the book, and like, what's a wizism? A wizism is a quote by Kobi the Wiz. And so one of the wizisms in the book is that we don't get to choose the thoughts that come into our head, but we do get to choose what stays.
Absolutely.
And
you're right.
So that's part of the piece, is that, understanding your mindset, that you got to be conscious of the conversations that not only that you're having with each other and other people, but the most important conversation is the conversation you're having with yourself.
With yourself, right? Yeah.
So what are the things that you're thinking about and what you're speaking to yourself about that nobody else knows about?
Oh, you're right. And you're right that shifts your whole outlook of who you are and what you're able to do and how you treat and act around other people.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
We all can only give what we have. And what I often say is that we give to people out of our abundance. Right. So if you have an abundance of fear and an abundance of hostility and an abundance of frustration, then that's what you give to people, because you got a lot of it. Right. And so you have to be intentional about taking time to pour into yourself, so that when others come to you in need, that you got something to pour out that's positive, like love and patience. Right. And kindness. So that's the time, I think. And that's the whole reason why I think that the timing of this book is for now.
Yeah, that's good. Well, let's talk about it. Learning Happens Through Conversations, 5 leadership lessons for masterful living. Number 1.
Well, the thing I like about this book, and I think, like I said, I was the vessel for which it flowed through.
Right.
And so the good thing about the book is that it's a story. So the book is a story. It's about a 2-hour conversation that I had with an orthopedic surgeon when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
And so he was part of a mastermind group. When I was in Atlanta, there was a mastermind group that met at 6 a.m. Twice a month on Mondays. And so I met him in this group and had an opportunity to have a conversation. And so, like I said, I got the chapters of the book first. And chapter 1 came, right, staying in your lane and running your race.
Right, right.
And so it's about understanding the race that you're running first, but also making sure that when you're competing, that although there may be other people, like the main competition is always yourself.
It's you. Yeah. Yeah. And does that mean also, Kobi, recognize what your strength is and focus on what that is, as i.e. stay in your lane?
Well, yes, right. So strengths are important, right? There, and you focus on those.
Yeah.
But oftentimes the things that we think are weaknesses are also strengths. Right. There was a wonderful book. I read a lot, of course. But David and Goliath by he wrote, his name escapes me now, but he wrote The Tipping Point. He wrote, what else did he write? I forget. Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's going to bother me if I'm but he wrote a book called David and Goliath, and he talks about in there how the things that we think are our weaknesses are also our strengths, right? And vice versa, right? And the things that we think are our strengths can also be our weaknesses. You know what I mean? So he uses the story of David and Goliath, as an example of that. And saying that even though that Goliath thought he was tall, like that was a big thing, but it was hard for him to reach down and to get it. Right. The thing that he thought was a strength was really a weakness, right? And David, that even though he was small, they considered that a weakness, but the part of him being small was the fact that, he couldn't get at it.
He could, right. Yeah.
So part of that, so staying in your lane and running your race is not only about understanding your strengths and understanding your weaknesses, but understand how depending on the situation, that what you may consider to be a strength may also be not of benefit to you.
Yeah, that's good. Number 2 is playing the game to win. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so in playing the game to win, you got to understand. So what's the game, right? That's the question. We're playing the game to win. Right. So what's the game? The game is life.
Right. The game is life. Yeah.
The game is life. You know what I mean? And so how do we play this game to win? And part of how we play this game to win is understanding what is it in life that you want to win at? What is it that you really want to do? Right.
And that could be your career. That could be personal or professional. It could be your marriage, your relationship with your mom, whatever.
It's collective, right? Yeah. So whatever game that you're playing is understanding what is it going to take for you to really win at this game. You know what I mean? And part of winning at the game is understanding the rules and understanding, more importantly, why you're playing the game. Right. If your why is strong enough, you'll figure out the how. Right. How. So the question is, why are you playing it and why do you want to win so bad? So that is the part is understanding what it is that you're going after, and then understanding the lines, understanding the rules, understanding the parameters and what you're trying to play so that you can win and be successful at it.
And that really goes right into the third point, figuring it out, solving problems, because to your point, you've got to play the game to win. You've got to know what the game is, what that games are that you want to play. Like I said, personally, professionally, whatever, spiritually, emotionally, and then figure out where you want to go, which is the winning, and then figuring out how to get there, the steps you have to take.
Yeah, chapter 3 is probably of the book is probably, for me, might be my favorite chapter.
Really?
All the chapters, they're good. The one is the setup, but the beautiful thing about this book is, like I said, it's a story. So it's not like you can turn to chapter 3 because you're starting what happened before then. You know what I mean? So but the beauty of it is it's a quick read. It's a quick read. And so actually when we released it, it was on Amazon #1 newest releases.
Yes, congratulations.
Yeah, it was the #1 new release for 2-hour short reads for 3 days in a row.
Wow. So
it's a short read. And but chapter 3 is really about figuring it out. What do you really believe? You know what I mean? What do you really believe, and why do you believe it, and figuring out why you do the things you do when you do what you do.
That's a Stevie Wonder quote. Stevie Wonder quote.
How you do, I do. You know what I mean? You know, that's how Stevie would put it.
That's how Stevie said it.
Yeah, that's how Stevie said it, you know? So that's the whole piece, is figuring out what it is and why you do what you do when you do it. Right. And that's what chapter 3 really is about, figuring out and solving problems, because often we look to others to solve problems for us, and we really already have the answers inside of us.
Well, you know what else I'm thinking that you said, that it's sometimes, I mean, you have to be honest with yourself. When you talk about why you do what you do, you know, sometimes it's just habitual. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think we just do stuff.
Right.
And don't even think of, not only don't know why, Kobi, don't think about why. Yeah. And why we've been doing it all this way, the same, you know. So that goes to the figuring it out. You got to sit down and figure out, you know, if it's been not non-productive, destructive, maybe I need to do something a little different.
Yeah, it's about really becoming intentional.
Yes.
In the moves that you make and the thoughts that you think, right? And so understanding that everything comes from what you think. Mm-hmm. So you are what you eat, but more importantly, you are what you think. Mm-hmm. And so what you thinking about? Right.
Learning through conversations, 5 lessons for masterful living. We're talking to author and entrepreneur Kobi Wilkerson about his brand new book. And we've been going through the 5. We've gone through 1, 2, and 3. 1, stay in your lane, run your race. Mm-hmm. Playing the game to win is number 2. We were just talking about number 3, figuring it out, solving problems, which you say is your probably favorite chapter. Why is it?
Like I said, I think chapter 3, if you do what it's told, then you're allowed to get clear. Okay. Right? There's a process and a protocol that's in chapter 3 that if you actually hand it out, it helps you to kind of really get clear about what it is that you believe.
Awesome. That's great. And that to me is almost the one, is really the key to getting where you got to get to. Because you got to figure it out. You got to figure you out, and then you got to figure it out, and then you got to do it.
Yeah, and sometimes you and it are the same thing.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. All right, number 4. What's number 4? Building your bridges. Going
for more. Going for more. Building your bridges. So, chapter 4 is about, now that I kind of got it figured out, now how do I take that and enhance it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so in the conversation that he's having with me, we figure out, okay, now you got the whole issue, the belief stuff set up. Now, how do you actually take that, utilize that, apply it, and then push towards more?
Right. Yeah. All right. And then number 5, living versus staying alive.
Yes. It's not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same thing. You know what I mean? So you got everybody, you know, you got the living, and then you got versus staying alive. You know what I mean? So most of us are doing what we need to do to stay alive.
Right.
But how many of us are really living?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, adulting is difficult.
Like, man, it is. Kids don't know. Kids always, you know, and you think about your younger self, you know, when you were a teenager, and you was, it looks so good.
Can't wait to grow up and get my own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get me some bills to pay, you know, pay my own cable bill, you know, get my own car, go when I want, leave what I want. Now we just like,
do what I want to do. Right.
A rich auntie who can adopt me that I can.
That's right.
I need one. Like, hey, you want to take in a wife and 2 kids? Come and get us. Right. Like that adulting thing is difficult.
Yeah.
So, but it's just really about, how do you really get intentional about understanding why you're here, what you want out of life, and then putting steps in place to go after that.
Right.
We know what we have to do. We know, you know, the cable bill is going to come. We know rent and mortgage is going to come, right? But how do you create some space for your mental space, right? So you can get in a mindset where you can actually think beyond that, so that you can actually begin living your life and enjoying the life that you have, because we only get one pass here.
Right.
We get one pass. And so there are no regrets. You don't get to be like, man, I wish I could have. So take your wish you could have right now and then do it. Right. So I have this saying that I do, and often understanding that fear is what paralyzes us, right, from taking steps into whatever we're trying to do, whether we're trying to start a business, whether we're trying to, have a conversation that's difficult, whether we're trying to just do something that we feel like is bigger than us. And the saying is what would you do if you weren't scared?
Right.
Right. And then you literally answer that audibly, right? You audibly. So if I weren't scared, I would, right? And then the end of that is do that.
Right.
Right. Do that. And so
do it afraid.
Do it. Right. So, that's what they talk about, how courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is doing it, feeling the fear, understanding that it's in the doing the thing that you get the power.
Yes.
Right? People want the power before they do the thing, and it just doesn't work out that way. You have to do the thing to get the power.
Right. Yeah.
And so whatever that thing is, you got to do that, because people want the power before they do the thing, and it just don't work. It don't work. That's not how it's set up. So it's the power. You get the power. It's in the process. The process is how you get your power. The struggle is where you get your strength. And so people run from that, but that is really strong.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're so right. Learning through conversations, 5 lessons for a masterful living, Kobi Wilkerson. You can still purchase it on Amazon, and
go get it.
Get it. Get the book. And who would you recommend this book for? Listen, we are in the midst of COVID, obviously, and a lot of people are going through a lot of things. Again, physically, mentally, financially, personally, professionally, a lot is going on. And a lot of people are having to shift and reinvent themselves, so to speak. Is this a good book for that?
A great book for that. When I first started writing this book, I was like, oh, this book isn't going to be for everybody. And then after I finished the book and actually went back and read it, I was like, oh man, there's something in it for everybody. If you're a college student and looking for some motivation, it's there. If you're getting ready to start a business, it's there. If you're in a relationship and it's like, oh, I'm getting ready to take some steps, I don't know what to do, it's there. If you're actually thinking about, a change in, your employment, or possibly stepping out to start your own company, like, this is a book for you. There's something in it for everyone, wherever they are. And that's the beautiful thing about the book, which is why I try very close not to tell people, like, if you read this book, like, this is what you're going to get. Right. I try to stay away from that, because there's so much in here. I don't want you to miss, right, what is going to be spoken to you, looking for that one thing, which you say, this is what you're going to get out of it.
Right. The book is Learning Through Conversations, 5 Lessons for Masterful Living. Kobi Wilkerson has been joining us, walking us through the 5 lessons, 5 leadership lessons. And as she says, it's a great book wherever you are in life, whatever you're doing. If you want to make it, if you want to get some strategies.
Yes, we need some inspiration and motivation. This is it.
Inspiration, motivation to make it to the next phase. Kobi, thank you so much for the book. Thank you so much for joining us. And you said it's a quick read. Do you have audiobook also?
Yes, the audiobook is.
You do have an audiobook. Oh, okay.
The audiobook will be on Audible probably, if not the end of this next month, the beginning of next month. I'll be doing a big old blitz once we actually get the exact date. They're really backed up on the Audible piece for, I guess, people they putting out stuff.
Yeah.
But once we get the date for sure, we'll be doing a whole nother blitz to let people know that the audiobook is out. So, but yeah, it's on paperback, it's on Kindle right now, and the audiobook is coming.
Are you doing the reading?
I am.
Oh, good. That's good. Yes. That's good. Yeah, nobody can read your stuff like you, I think.
Yeah, I think, and especially this book, right? So the title of the book is Learning Happens Through Conversations. And so it being a conversation between me and this, I thought it was just imperative that it be my voice.
All right. Kobi Wilkerson, you see the information. Please contact him if you want more information about the book and about some mentorship, because you do mentorship and training. Are you still doing those kinds of things?
Yes, we absolutely do. I do leadership training. I do one-on-one coaching. I do mentorship. We do all of that. So check me out at lkobithewiz.com, or if you want to shoot me an email and say, hey, I'm interested in some stuff or doing some group stuff, lkobithewiz@gmail. We're on Instagram at lkobithewiz, Twitter lkobithewiz. Everything is
lkobithewiz. All right. Kobi's actually going to come back with us and give us a little motivation and inspiration as we close out the show. So we're going to get back with Kobi in just a minute. Thank you, Kobi. We'll check back with you in just about two more minutes. All right. All right. So listen, we heard from the Richland County Recreation Commission. Don't forget to contact them if you want more information about sports starting back up. They've got their virtual learning program, which is amazing if you need some help with your kids' virtual learning. And of course, we're going to get back with Kobi Wilkerson in just a minute. Listen, if you know someone or you have a story that could help someone cope with COVID, please go to the Tailor Made Productions Facebook page and inbox me, and let's talk about how you can be a part of coping with COVID. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. copingwithtreitailor@gmail.com. And we'll talk about how you could be a proud sponsor of Coping with COVID, just like Palmetto Media Connections, Agape Counseling and Training Center, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, and also SCDHEC and In It Together. Now, tomorrow, Faith Friday with Cy Young. He is one of my former colleagues, one of my program directors when I lived in Raleigh, and now he is a minister. We're going to talk to Cy Young tomorrow on Faith Friday. Saturday, Alicia Ziegler is talking about her new book, Fashion Faux Pas, and who's policing the police. We're going to have a conversation with Sheriff Leon Lott and Chief Skip Holbrook. That's next Tuesday at 2:00 right here on Coping with COVID. As you know, I typically leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling, but Kobi is going to rejoin us right now and give us some inspirational, motivational words as we close out the show. Give it to us. Give it up. Turn it loose.
I am going to do. This is a poem that's actually in the book. It's a poem I wrote called A Little Bit at a Time. A little bit at a time. A little bit at a time is how change and transformation come. I need to do 100 things, but I must start with one. A little bit at a time is what I tell myself. I must be the loudest voice in my life, regardless of everybody else. A little bit at a time creates the possibility of success. I can focus on doing better and relieve some of my stress. A little bit at a time is the mantra I speak when things get bad or life is seeming a little bleak. A little bit at a time is the best way I know to walk my talk and let my actions show. A little bit at a time is how I make it through the pain. It's how I smile in the trouble and appreciate the rain. So when life gets hard and I really want to quit, I dig deep and say, just give a little bit. When I'm in a storm and don't know what to do, when giving up seems easy and I don't want to see it through, when my head is down and it seems too heavy to lift, I whisper to myself, just give a little bit. A little bit is all I need to start. It doesn't stop there, but it gets me out the dark. A little bit keeps me in the game. It won't fix everything, but it's what begins to change. Keep the faith, see it through, and refuse to give up is what I must do. I'll speak it in my heart and I'll speak it in my mind, and I'll say it out loud to myself, a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. All I have to do is a little bit at a time.
That's good stuff. Kobi Wilkerson, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for that beautiful poem, the inspirational words, 5 lessons for learning through conversations, 5 lessons for masterful living. Thank you so much, Kobi. I appreciate you. Good luck to you and God bless you. Thank you too for joining us on Coping with COVID. Until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings. And I ask you to please be careful, please be safe, and don't forget to wear your mask over your nose and under your chin. I'll see you tomorrow.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdhec.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Kobi.